This lesson provides an introduction to XML, describes its purpose, and defines basic XML language, including elements and attributes. The purpose of this lesson is to provide you with foundational knowledge on XML.
XML is an abbreviation for Extensible Markup Language, which is the official name of the standard. It was designed to handle rigorous data in a flexible framework. XML is special because it doesn't contain any predefined tags. All of those tags are defined only by the user. And that's what also makes it an extensible language. In addition to the flexibility and extensibility, XML is a language used by computers to transmit data between different types of information systems that wouldn't normally be compatible. And XML is a language that's fairly easy for humans to read and understand. You may have familiarity with another markup language, HTML. So while HTML and XML are both markup languages, HTML is designed to display data in a web browser, while XML's objective is to store and transmit data. XML is structured into a tree, where the family members are all called elements. So what's an element? Well, an element describes the data that it contains. Our root element, recipe book, describes what it contains, recipes for cookies and cake. Elements can contain sub-elements and also have attributes. We always start with a root element, like recipe book here in our example. Then, just like in a family, XML has parents and children. Here, recipe book is the parent for two elements, cookies and cake. Since cookies and cake are on the same level, they're also called siblings. Then, going on further, cake has two child elements as well, ingredients 1 and 2. And finally, we can see that the ingredient level hosts text labels, like flour and sugar. Here we have some sample XML code. We can see the tree structure reflected here. Recipe book is the parent. Then we go down into the child element cookies, and then down further into ingredients. While we're looking at the sample, let's take a moment to introduce two other topics crucial to working with XML, tags and attributes. We already know that tags in XML are user-defined. We can see some examples of that here, recipe, ingredient, etc. But we must also note that tags have to always open and close. And in XML, they're always nested. A child tag should always be opened and closed within its parent's open and closing tags. But if there aren't rules like in HTML, how does an XML file know what's allowed? Well, that's where a second file type comes in, a DTD, or Document Type Definition. A DTD is a file that declares what elements and references can appear and where in the document, as well as defining the element's contents and attributes. An XML file is always paired with a DTD. Now, since XML tags are custom and can be different for every document, without a DTD, the computer or device receiving an XML file wouldn't have any idea what to do with it. With DTDs, the data can be marked up using whatever tags the creator desires. Then, when the data is sent, the receiving computer needs only to look at the DTD to be able to translate the data. Here, you can see a partial sample DTD. You can see that we have elements with IDs like cake, cookies, biscuits, etc. And we can also see what some of those attributes can be. For example, when we wanted to make an element required, we used the attribute required equals, quote, true, close quotes. When working with XML, it's also important to understand the two kinds of XML validation. Well-formed XML means that the document follows correct XML syntax. There are some rules to XML, and we can see those 5 conditions listed here. Valid XML is more rigorous. Valid XML is already well-formed and follows all of the rules that you set out in your DTD as well. The good news is that your XML editor will check for this automatically when you click Validate. Now, Review these terms used in XML throughout Employee Profile and other aspects of SuccessFactors.
Now that you've completed this lesson, you should be able to successfully complete the tasks on the screen in a live SuccessFactors system. Don't forget to use the resources available to you if you run into any configuration issues or have a question. Good luck!